Hello, fellow cyborgs, and welcome to another Poetry Tuesday where I talk about poetry, read some to you, maybe even it's my own, who knows? Today we are here to talk about Shaking the Trees by Azra Tabassum. I don't know if that's how you say her name, but that's the way that I say her name that makes me feel happiest, so there you go. This is a collection of poetry published by Words Dance Publishing. They are an independent poetry publisher, and I bought like 7 of their collections all in one go because it was on Etsy. And they were pretty inexpensive, relatively, and they looked awesome and feminist and stuff. So this is the first one I happened to read, and this is a collection of poetry telling the narrative of a love story over the span of a year, maybe. And it's very raw and brutal. It uses foul language and talks about sex, which is great. So here's the table of contents. I can't see that very well, but it starts with January and then gives you 2 other poems, February, 2 other poems, down until you get to December. Some of the poems in like the later months in the year seem to switch maybe forward in time and then come back. So I don't think this technically spans like 1 year chronologically, but I think it uses the seasons to represent aspects of a relationship. Oh, I just figured that out on camera. God, took me long enough, but at least I figured it out. Okay, so the seasons represent different phases in a relationship. Let me tell you my favorite poems in this collection. One of my favorites was This Is How You Will Fall in Love. Also, Delilah. Those were my 2 favorites in here. There were a lot of poems in here that just weren't my thing. When I think of romance and my kind of romance that I really love, it's normally just like gooey and sweet and quiet and slow because that's how I picture my eventual romance to go. And this was a lot more like, your body on my body right now, and you're an asshole, but that's okay because I'm gonna tease you. And so it was, that sort of romance. So a lot of the themes in here I didn't 100% gel with, but okay, my favorite part of this, and this might sound bad, but my favorite part is that I finished reading this really volatile relationship, really brutal and raw, like I said before. And then I get to the author's bio. Here is Azra Tabassum, and it says, Azra Tabassum is a 19-year-old English student and hopeless romantic who lives on the south coast of England and spends her days crying over fictional men and cats that she does not own. She writes about all the love that has not happened to her and all the desire she has yet to experience. Her lifelong dream is to fall in love with a man with a beard and retire to a small cottage in Scotland to raise an army of felines, open a small bookshop, and of course, spend her days writing books and eating chocolate. Azra Tabassum, are you my soulmate? Are we meant to be together? I will grow a beard for you if you need me to. She's just should be my friend. So the juxtaposition between the work in here and then the author herself just tickled my fancy, tickled me pink. Oh my goodness. It was the funniest, best little nugget of a moment I've had practically all week. But let me read you Delilah because that one was awesome and I really liked it. So this is from the point of view of the man in the relationship. So Samson talking to Delilah. Delilah, they talk about forgiveness as though it will come like a bird with wings and save humanity from itself, as though it will arrive like the wave the God has been holding in his palm and cleanse us whole. But I am not a man anymore. I am not pure anymore. If there is dark on my soul, I want it there. If there is rust under my skin, I put it there, as a reminder that I have commanded these holy wars with the same blood-stained hands that I have had between your legs. Delilah, I have seen death, and I have shook his hand and told him, I will not bow down for you today. But for you, woman, no, not goddess at all, not immortal at all, not loyal at all, I am splayed skin and bent knees, I am blood and wine, choking back a fistful of teeth and eating at your thighs as though your body is a banquet and I have been starved. Like honey and dates, I loved you soft, I loved you careful, and I bowed for you, Delilah, when my legs had given out beneath me and the apostles were using chains instead of hands. When their whips had turned me to ribbons, I was on my knees for you in a room full of Sunday sun. I was cheek pressed against stomach, your hands grasping at my scalp. They ripped you from my body and told you, well done. And I knew that there is no God here. I'm not sure if there ever was. At least you heard me. I said, give me your love or give me death. And you listened. Yep. So there you go. Sensual, raw, brutal, but also really beautiful. So if this collection sounds like anything up your alley, or if you think you should be friends with Azur Tabassum, I highly recommend you check this out. Support an independent publisher, support a brand new poet. Thank you for watching. Please let me know down below if you have tried Words Dance Publishing, if you have tried poetry at all, if this made you think that you would like to try poetry in the future. My mouth isn't using words correctly right now because it's just in the aftermath of the poetry. So please excuse the slight mispronunciations of things. Thank you for watching. And until next time, read yourself some poetry and continue to be lovely. It's kind of what good poetry does to you. Just saying. Just a bit of a disclaimer.